evening, Zimbabwe. This is Change Radio News. Today is Monday, 22 December 2025. The news is read by Divine Nambira. Here are the news headlines. Under pressure, Ncube reverses key 2026 tax proposals. Nurses accused of demanding bribery from expectant mothers. And 9 killed in South Africa mass shooting. And now for the news in detail. Finance Minister Ncube has reversed several major tax proposals for 2026 following intense pressure in Parliament. The climb down cancels a new tiered gold royalty system and planned levies on large cash withdrawals. However, economists and critics say the revisions primarily benefit businesses and investors, offering little relief to the poor. Key measures impacting low-income earners remain, including an increase in value-added tax to 15.5% and an unchanged income tax threshold. While the minister defended the value-added tax hike by pointing to exemptions on some basic goods, critics argue this is insufficient. They warn that with stagnant wages and other costs still rising, the financial pressure on households will intensify in the new year. 7 nurses from the maternity ward at Masvingo Provincial Hospital have appeared before a disciplinary hearing for allegedly demanding $50 bribes from expecting mothers in exchange for proper care. The hearings were held last week and chaired by the provincial nursing officer with senior hospital officials in attendance. Hospital Superintendent Noel Zulu confirmed that investigations are underway. Some sources have attributed the alleged practice to poor remuneration in the public service, while concerns about corruption in government institutions persist. Reports also claim that some of the nurses have links to senior ZANU-PF figures, raising fears that the cases could be influenced. Authorities say investigations are continuing. A mass shooting at a pub in South Africa has left 9 people dead and at least 10 others wounded. The attack occurred in the early hours of Sunday morning at a tavern in Beckersdale, west of Johannesburg. Police report that roughly 12 suspects in 2 vehicles opened fire on patrons before fleeing the scene, shooting randomly into the streets. An e-hailing driver who had just dropped off a client was among those killed. This is the second such mass shooting at a bar in South Africa in the past 3 weeks. Authorities have launched a manhunt for the suspects. ZANU-PF is facing growing criticism over plans to amend the constitution, with opponents warning the move could be used to extend Emmerson Mnangagwa's rule beyond the 2028 term limit. Pressure group Ibe Chulika Zulu has taken the matter to the Constitutional Court, arguing that any attempt to alter presidential term provisions without a national referendum would undermine democracy and violate citizens' political rights. While ZANU-PF insists the issue is speculative and lawful, critics say even discussing term extensions erodes constitutional safeguards and disrespects the 2013 Constitution, approved by voters. The Constitutional Court is yet to decide on the application. The ruling ZANU-PF government held its last meeting of the year last week, declaring 2025 a success. Critics called the claim preposterous, pointing to failing public hospitals and the absence of promised cancer treatment machines, despite over $30 million being collected for them. Observers describe the year's performance as another dismal failure under the current leadership. A senior ZANU-PF advisor has revealed that party affiliate groups are being formed primarily to extract money from the ruling party. Paul Tungwarara, President Mnangagwa's investment advisor, has disclosed that funds meant for the vendors for ED Group were looted. Speaking in Chimanimani, Tungwarara admitted that top party officials have misused presidential empowerment funds and stated an audit is now underway to recover the money. ZANU-PF has reclaimed the Nkulumane parliamentary seat in Bulawayo for the first time in over 20 years. Freedom Murechu won the by-election on 20 December, polling 3,416 votes amid lower voter turnout of 22.7%. The seat fell vacant following the death of CCC legislator Desire Moyo. The vote was marked by allegations of vote buying and widespread voter apathy. Many were turned away for lacking valid ID or not being on the voters' roll, with just 3,992 ballots cast out of 22,883 registered voters. Citizens have criticized the appointment of Kevin Mutimbanyoka as Deputy Minister of Women's Affairs, saying it reflects a lack of commitment to women's leadership. The Zimbabwe National Family Planning Council has inaugurated a new board following the appointment of Chief Executive Officer Farai Machinga. Members include Vice Chair Zikamai Rufu, Junior Machuchu, David Mutizwa, and Tanyarazwa Nyakatao. The board recently held a strategic planning workshop for the National Development Strategy 2, year 2026 to 2030, focusing on community health and family empowerment. In economic news, the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority ZIMRA has backtracked on its monthly tax clearance requirement following objections from industry. In a letter to the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, ZIMRA said it will introduce staggered validity periods, 6 months for large taxpayers and 3 months for medium and small firms, including tender participants. The move comes after warnings that the original monthly requirement would disrupt business operations and raise compliance costs. And in news from local communities, Kimpton Mkombwe, CCC councillor for Ward 1 in Chegutu, has died after a mine shaft collapsed in the Blue Rock area. His involvement in informal mining has raised concerns about the lengths elected officials go to sustain their livelihoods amid inadequate remuneration. In international news, the United States has suspended green card and citizenship applications from Nigerians and certain other nationals following an expanded travel ban. Officials say the move is tied to national security concerns and a review of immigration screening processes, with Nigeria listed among countries facing partial restrictions. And finally, in sports news, the Warriors begin their Africa Cup of Nations campaign tonight against Egypt in Agadir. The team will be without star midfielder Ndirino Mota, who withdrew due to a family emergency. Coach Marian Marinaka says they are also without 7 injured players, but insists they are not intimidated by Egypt's star names. Egypt's coach Hossam Hassan says his team is focused on winning an 8th title. Historically, Egypt has dominated, winning 8 of the 13 past meetings. Zimbabwe's only win was back in 1992. To end the news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. Under pressure, Ncube reverses key 2026 tax proposals. Nurses accused of demanding bribery from expectant mothers. And 9 killed in South Africa mass shooting. And that concludes our bulletin for today. We thank you for listening. From myself, Divine Nambira, and the entire team at Change Radio, we wish you a blessed night.